Hey y'all, I'm Shayna and I'm back with another review. This is for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 15, Episode 2, Sisters Before Misters. I tried to get it out to y'all earlier. The video got cut off, so we back at it again. Definitely, y'all already know if you're new here or if you're not. Either way, if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to subscribe, check out my other videos, and I just want to go ahead and get straight into it because the video is late, life been lifing, but we back like we never left, okay? So we pick up at Ross' 40th birthday party. Kenya is telling Sheree Martell slid in her DMs before he and Sheree got together. I'm trying to figure out when they got together because he was back in Huntsville saying they not together, they just friends. I don't understand. So, ooh, sorry y'all. Okay. Mangetta questions him about the woman he's allegedly seeing in Atlanta. Listen, first of all, they're not together. Second of all, if he cheated on his wife, who he lived with, had a 5-year relationship and a loose baby on, why would Sheree be safe? Like, I mean, he's like, oh, well, the woman must be not be getting nothing because I spend all my time with you when I'm in Atlanta. If you can do it with a woman you married and lived with and had kids with, ain't nobody safe, okay? He not even claiming Sheree, so I don't understand. On the other side, Courtney and Candy are bouncing back and forth, bouncing and not behaving. Sonya said she just met her a few days ago at Sheree's house, so she don't even know Courtney like that. And Don Juan was like, oh, she's Sheree's friend. That's why she's bouncing. I hollered, I ain't gonna lie, I cracked up at that. So Candy feels away because she said Sonya should have gave her a heads up. Courtney felt away about her, and she just had Candy walking in there, blind. So Marlo ear hustling, and she just happy that this don't involve her. You might want to get into some mess soon. Cause what else are you talking about, Marlo? But it's still early. I'm gonna give it some time. Otherwise, she need to get back to friend of. I'm just saying, cause these new friend ofs, we ain't asked for them. Courtney, we could have really did without her. So back with Martell and them, he shows a DM from 2 years ago saying he sent Kenya a thank you for her kind words that she said about him in an interview. Like he wasn't trying to talk to her. Candy doesn't believe his version. I kind of don't either, but in his defense, and I'm upset that I even got to defend him, Kenya had no receipts. We didn't see what he sent Kenya on her end because it wasn't there. So we don't know what he told her. So I don't know why this is even a conversation. So he get to cussing at her and all types of stuff. And she said, what did you say to this queen standing in front of you? As if he care about that. Kenya also said once a cheater, always a cheater. Period. I mean, I don't know, some tigers change their stripes, but this one ain't. Kenya said that he has some similar behavior as Bob, and Sheree need to open up her eyes to these red flags with these men. Now, Sheree is defending Martell because that's just what she do. And she was like, why would she even bring up some messages from 2 years ago? Yeah, I don't know, but she said it was 6 months ago. Like, the timing is way off. In the car, because they done left the party, and then he say bye. Martell said he's upset that she was referring to him this way. He's like, she said she a queen, I'm a king. Martell, not too much now, not too much. But he said he meant what he said. He made that comment saying Kenya accepts everyone's DMs. Well, she didn't accept his because we saw that she had to accept whatever it was. Because whatever it was or wasn't, she had to accept it. She did not. So let's not. Both sides have valid points. I mean, Kenya's right. This is just who Martell is. If you don't watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, you might want to start back in season 1. This is who he is. This is how he be. Sheree is also valid. Kenya had no receipts. So there's no point in even bringing it up, especially to Sheree. Some friends you might can do that with, but Sheree ain't one of them. She don't even know what the DM said. Like, we really could have left this out. So moving on, we finally see Drew. Hey, Drew, missed your girl and her family. Her daughter is her twin. She is so pretty. So Drew is back from Chicago with her boys, and she discusses her dad's health declining. He has Alzheimer's, and She's just really, upset by it. She said she played her song for her dad and he recognized her, so that made her really emotional. And she said she's getting back to music. Plays a part in her wanting to get back into music. She's always been into it. She's had record deals before in the past. It just never really took off. And she has a song that was written and produced by Ralph. And that's great, but why is Ralph in the cover photo? Like, why is he in the cover art? You behind the scenes. Stay back there. He always trying to steal her shine. Want to take her thunder. So Drew claims she and Ralph are in a good place because they're doing music together. That's where they connect. That's where they had their first date. She said this is the best place they've been in all 8 years they've been together. Or they've been married. Well, we know that didn't last long because we know y'all was racing down to divorce court. So that didn't really age well. Ralph said that he found out Courtney is his cousin at Ross' birthday party. She had a confessional and said that his dad's sister is her grand aunt. Huh? Grand what? Y'all so far removed, it don't even seem like it count. Like y'all distant cousins. Like I don't. Anyway. So Drew don't even care. She just like, now why was Candy mad? Ralph said, well, she was trying to fight my cousin. And Drew said, what? Oh, she must be a pitman because, y'all like to fight. And I said, uh-oh. What you mean Ralph like to fight? Well, tell us something we don't know. So Sonya and Candy meet up for lunch. Sonya shared that Candy had invited everyone to Disney, but she was the only one that responded. Her and her family went. The families had a good time together. It was a fun trip. And so her and Candy are getting closer. But Sonya, you're going to have to pick a side. You can't be over there with Sheree and Marlo and them and then be over here with Candy and them. Like, eventually you're going to have to figure it out. So Sonya shares that Ross is ready for Sonya's family to move. I would have never been ready for them to move in the first place. But that's just me. Because why? I mean, y'all can visit, but why are y'all here? And some people were saying they had a reality show before and it was a full house back then. I ain't never seen or heard of the show. But it should have stopped back then. We don't need to see her and everybody else in one house. So her family also wants to move. Like the sister been over her. Mama said she ready to go to Florida. Let these people go. Stop holding these people hostage. She don't want them to leave. I don't know why. It's like, are you afraid to be with your husband and your child alone? Because y'all ain't ever been alone, so you don't want to see what it's like to be alone with them. That's why y'all can't have baby number 2. But we gonna get there. So Candy shares that Todd wants reciprocation as far as supporting his dreams. He feels he's always supporting her and backing her up in her endeavors, and she don't support him. We know that she was supporting a little bit financially, but he wants her to be there. I think she just don't want him to get a bag because he might dip, but that's neither here nor there. So Sonya gonna agree if she don't do nothing else. They get into Courtney, because why not? And Sonya tells Candy about the comment Courtney had made back at Sheree's house when we see a clip where Sonya was saying like, oh, y'all remember that place we go to such and such? Well, and once Candy went there, she said something about it on her IG. All her Instagram followers came and it got real ghetto. It got turned out. And Candy was like, okay. She said that in front of you, my friend. Did you defend me? What you say? And Sonya was up there lying and stuttering. I thought that was Sheree for a minute. I said, girl, just say no. You didn't say I didn't want to have nothing to do with it. I stayed out of it or something. So she up there talking about something. Oh no, I did defend you. Candy don't believe it. Rightfully so, because she didn't do it. And then Candy was like, these fake classy bitches, they unalive me. That was funny. So in the next scene, Ross is in Austin, Texas, working on their car business. And Sonya said she ready for baby number 2. But how can they work on baby number 2 when her husband ain't never even home? He's always gone. She was like, I can't even hardly get a FaceTime with my man, much less practice for a baby. And he's like, well, I like to practice. And she's like, well, how are we going to practice? We ain't never around. And that's why she don't want her family to leave. I'm going to say this. Number 1, I don't think neither one of them really want another child. Maybe he did. I don't really think she do. It's giving a little storyline. 2, always gone. Red flag on the play. I know y'all been together for a while, but we know when y'all get on these reality TV shows, that is not a good time for marriages. Over with Candy and Todd. they're at the restaurant Blaze, and they said after the panorama, like, don't nobody eat there no more, pretty much. So we see some of the cast from OLG. They should not have cut that show off. That show deserved a second season. Bravo, what are we doing? And Candy and Ty are taste testing some new food or some new menu items. They want to just try some new things to get a crowd back in there. And Todd is explaining he wants to open more restaurants. And Candy was like, why? I mean, you don't really seem passionate about it. And he was like, for money. Well, at least he keeping it real. But you got to put money into it because y'all stuff was falling apart over at the OLG. And she was just like, okay, well, I mean, you should be working. You don't want him to work on no passion. You don't want him to work on getting no money. You don't want nothing. So he was like, look, after this, I'm about to open a Mexican restaurant, and then we're going to have Ace Pizza. We having Mexican, we having Italian, Korean, we having all the ends. So in walks Candy's cousin slash chef, Melvin, with his arm in a sling. So they just sitting there casually eating and chit chatting, and the producer breaks fourth wall and says, so y'all not gonna address this elephant in the room? And I said, what elephant in the room? I mean, his arm broke, but what about it? So they show some clips because they was like, no, not for legal reasons. And so apparently, Melvin and another employee got into it at OLG, and there was a little pow pow action going on. So it ain't funny, but it's kind of funny. But anyway, I'm glad Melvin's okay. Okay, they ain't want to talk about it. And Sheree gonna say, at Candy's restaurant, we don't know if we're gonna get biscuits or bullets. Woo child. Candy said it's unfortunate that it happened, but a lot of crime been going on in Atlanta, and she's grateful there's that business coming over there because they already don't got no business in Blaze. So last thing they need is no business at OLG. So Kenya meets with another potential friend of Akila. Then we have an Akila somewhere. Was that on Real Housewives of Potomac? Am I tripping? Let me know in the comments. Anywho, she's married to a football player, and Kenya gushes about the guy she's dating. She's talking to her because their daughters are playing tennis, their kids get along, and she was like, well, you know, he's a really great guy. She seems like she's keeping her options open because the friend was like, look, if he don't work out, what Monique say? If that man don't work out, get you another man. If that man don't work out, get you two more men. I know that's right. She was like, this is a big YC. I can hook you up with some football players if you need me to. You can't say, oh, girl, you can? You want to get me down to the games? I thought you liked this man so much. Girl. So Sheree is signing me, and Sheree shares that she's a glam mom now. I thought I heard somewhere she had a grandchild. Not Martell over there on Huntsville talking about Sheree's open to having more children when she got a grandchild now. Like, please, stop. Anyway. So they both state that Kenya needs to stop referring to black men as aggressive. She keeps saying all these black men are aggressive. And then they show clips of her saying Ross was aggressive last year and all that. Do I think Ross was aggressive on that trip? No, I personally don't think Ross was being aggressive on that trip. I don't. Do I think Martell is aggressive or can be? Absolutely. Martell can absolutely be aggressive, yes. And then Kenya gonna say Sheree is demonetized. And the killer said, not at this big grown age. I think not. Right. I think she don't want to lose her storyline. But that's just me. So Drew and Ralph go to the studio to drop some beats. And Drew said their chemistry is good in the studio. Like, that's where it all started. She was singing. Ralph was playing the piano. That's where it should have stopped too. But we here now. What we gonna do? She's talking about how great their chemistry was in the studio. Ralph said nothing. He was on mute. And then they perform an acoustic version of their song in front of a producer, and it sounds good. And he was like, ooh, you know what we should do? We should do Tiny Desk. Let's not push it. Like, let's be realistic here. Let's one step at a time, okay? So, Sheree is at a warehouse. I don't know if it's her warehouse or a warehouse where she got a little section in the warehouse because we know she don't like to spend no money. Products are being shipped to customers. They all wrinkled. She don't want to pay to have them steamed because she's cheap. Kenya arrives in her cat suit. Sounding boy crazy, talking about men nonstop. We get it, girl. You finally about to get a divorce for this non-existent marriage, honey. Do it. So so Kenya said that Sheree is being claimed. I guess they ain't seen this season 11 Marriage Huntsville because who's claiming her? Where? Not Martell Hope. Okay. So they talked about DM Gate, and Sheree claimed she already knew about the messages, but she was stuttering, so I don't know. I think she was lying. That's just how you already know about it. You would have said it right then and there when you call him over there, but okay, go off. So Sheree asked Kenya why she didn't tell her before. Like, why? Okay, well, you been knew about this. Why was you sitting on this? Why you didn't say something ahead of time? She do got a point there. Kenya said something that didn't make sense. Talking about some, oh, I didn't think about it till I saw y'all. Like, girl, what are you saying? You've been seeing them going around town. They've been calling the paparazzi on themselves for months. So Kenya said that there was no reason for him to be cursing at her like that. And was not. But you know, he's a grown man child, so that's what they like to do. Kenya said that what triggered her wasn't even the cussing. It was when he insinuated that she'd be talking to every man in her DM. I don't know why that wouldn't bother me. Not from him. From him, of all people, please. So after he said, I don't like that he made it seem like I talked to everybody. Sheree acting like she ain't hear that. Girl, ain't no way you didn't hear that. He said it to you, and he was loud and clear. So Kenya said, look, it's bros before HOs. And then Sheree was like, no, it's HOs before bros. And she was like, Kenya, like, no, we the bros. Listen, by the time y'all sit there and figure that out, we done forgot what y'all was talking about, okay? But Sheree brings up the aggression again. Kenya talking about, okay, well, I was by myself and the man shouldn't have been talking to me like she always do that. It's like, stop going back and forth with these men then, because she was going back and forth with them. I wouldn't even say nothing to him if you don't feel like you have a man to defend you. Where's that man you dating? He need to step on the scene. Straight like, I don't care what you're talking about. I'm not going to hold his feet to the fire. Stop calling these black men aggressive. If black man being aggressive, then it's just what it is. I don't like it either. But if it fit, it fit. And it fit. Okay. But y'all let me know what y'all thought. I think this season is so far so good. It's been a while since we had a really good season. But I don't need to see that much of Martell Hope. I mean, I'm seeing him a little too much. I mean, he got his own show. Okay. Y'all let me know what y'all thinking down in the comments. Be sure to don't click off without subscribing now. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.